thank you for tuning in to another edition of Michael London Radio, where we're more than just talk. Okay, you guys, I just want to thank you for listening. I want to wish every last one of you a very, very happy new you. It is 2011 and it is time to do it different. That is my theme for 2011. Do it different. Okay, we left off a week ago with let me rewind. I'm into today's or this week's topic, which is a spin-off. I was about to say the wrong thing, but we are starting back off or continuing where we left off a week ago with surrogate husbands. You guys, y'all excuse me, it's 5 a.m. My brain is not working as proficient as it could be at this hour. We left off talking about surrogate husbands / son, because the son in this case is the alternate or the replacement for the husband or the father figure, etc. So I just want to address that. You know, some people emailed me and they was like, wow, thank you so much for addressing this topic, because that's what I deal with. And I just want to say to those that are dealing with that, I know that that's a very hard place to be in emotionally for a woman who is in relationship with a man. And I was mainly addressing at first younger men in a certain age range that may be still home with their moms. They're in the early part of their adulthood, you know, growing teenagers, becoming grown men, and find themselves in that position. And so many older women were writing me, telling me about their husbands in their 40s and 50s and late 30s who are still dealing with this, which was so interesting, to say the least. And I just want to talk to you guys today and just drop some knowledge on what surrogatry is, or surrogate husbands and emotional surrogates are. And for some mothers, that's what their sons become, an emotional surrogate. But the more proper term to deal with that would be a surrogate husband. And I'll just show you and explain to you why. Having said that, the definition for surrogate is a person who acts in the place of another, especially an official capacity. Someone that taking the place of something. In other words, a substitute, an alternate, a fill-in, replacement, temporary alternate, or substituting. Surrogate is derived from the Latin word surrogare, which means to substitute. Surrogate can be used as both a noun and adjective to refer to someone who takes the place of someone else. Example, surrogate mother is a common phrase used to describe a woman who carries another woman's baby through pregnancy. And I'm about to just delve into an article from is written by Mott Brown, M-O-T-T-E Brown, and this was a 2007 article that surfaced that was addressing the topic of mama's boys. And for some, that's what they call these sons who get this emotional surrogatry going with their moms, or they become their mom's surrogate husband. They call them mama's boys in some cases, those that just really can't break free. You know, it's one thing to have a great bond with your mother and to have that great relationship where you look out for mom, you do your best by mom, you honor your mother, you respect your mother, but it's a difference when you cannot even move on with your own life, to live your own life. Christian principle, let me just drop that real quick. Christian principle when it comes to marriage and relationships says to leave, to cleave. And sometimes there's so many different circumstances that will cause you to feel like I got to stick around for mama, and those things are to be understood. Some of us are dealing with parents who are elderly, who are sickly, who got so many different problems, and you just want to be there to look out. But you can still be there, but just do it from a distance and take care of you and your household, the house that you are building. So let me go on to say it. This article by Mott Brown was in response to, or in relation to, a blog that was written by Anthony Bradley. And Anthony Bradley was crying out to some local church leaders, saying, let's help some of the men in our ministry or in our church get their masculinity back, because they were dealing with men whose moms were what I call smothers, where they were very protective of them, etc., etc. And these men, or most of them, grew up as children where they were able to do just very little, because their mom had this fear of them getting hurt, so many different things. So let me just read portions of this and give you guys some details. Bradley writes that mama's boys, typically come from mothers who are passive, abusive. Bradley writes that mama's boys typically come from mothers with, let me make that clear, with passive, abusive, or absent husbands. He says that without a father to keep the natural affections of a mother in check, women can actually become too close to their sons. And a son's unhealthy closeness with a mother can be emasculating. In order to satisfy her own needs, many mothers keep their sons from entertaining the world of men, claiming that he'll get hurt, he'll get dirty, it's not safe for him, and so on. She may even continue to call her son an emasculating nickname, like my little sweet boy. For many moms, sons are easier to relate to than grown men. She can be intimate with her son without experiencing conflicts she might have with the man that she can't manipulate or control. So let's pause there for a second. That is powerful to me, to say that some of these women are falling into these types of relationships with their children because they can't relate to their own mates, to their own husbands, to their spouses. That is powerful. Not powerful like in a positive way, but it's thought-provoking to understand that, the dynamic of a woman is that she wants to be able to be intimate and to communicate, and men express that in a very different way. And so this is not where I bash the women, but this is where I say to the men to step up your game as far as being there emotionally for your mate, so that they don't fall into some of these categories and these traps and these places that they find themselves in. I know the whole emotional humdrum game of relationship can just wear you out sometimes, because they say, I think that has become a cliche and a passing refrain that men are saying, and that's when they say, oh, you would never understand a woman, and God knows from my own experience that may be true. But there are certain things that you could implement into your lifestyle of relationships that will render you to have more effective relationships.